day. It is a best of 3 between this player. Up in the top left corner, it is the blue Zerg YogoMori. And his opponent, representing Norway, it is the red Zerg player, none other than Liquid Snute. And here we go, starting things off here with the ZvZ, a matchup that I don't believe we even saw last week. And I know we saw a lot of PvX because we did follow Puck for quite a bit, but here we do have Snute going up against another Zerg player, and you know, in Heart of the Swarm, Snute has been known for his ZvZ, but is it going to transfer over to Legacy of the Void? I know that Yogo has been playing a lot of Legacy, quite a bit of it, at least I think almost 400 games, whereas Snute, looking at his profile, didn't seem like he had actually played any games on his 1v1. At least on this profile. He did a bit of some Archon mode with TLO, but I don't know if he actually hit the ladder hard just yet, and he might start to be, you know, just kind of breaking into it as that release date does draw so close. Luckily for him, it is going to be a map that is pretty familiar, I would say, to him, because it is Terraform, already in the Heart of the Swarm ladder. And all ready to start things out here, we do see a hatch first coming out of Yogo, while we did see a pool first. It did look like, or was it? I'm not sure, just an earlier gas here. It looks like here from Snute, or from Yogo rather. And yeah, okay, so this is what confused me here. Yogo did not put the pool down. And I was sitting there looking at the timings of each, and I'm like, yeah, something looks a little weird, but it was the fact that Yogo did not have a pool, and he was floating quite a bit, and I think this is a big mistake. I do not think the skip your pool build and float 400 to 500 minerals is actually a thing you do in ZvZ. Gonna be something that he's gonna kick himself for if Snute decides to get a little bit more aggressive here, as he seems to be opening up in a very standard way, you know, hatch, gas, pool. Nothing too much had really changed here from Heart of the Swarm, as he does put down the Baneling Nest after getting that speed. And it really depends if Snute decides to go for a bit of an attack, you know. I'm a little bit worried here for Yogo, because you have to keep in mind that his speed is going to be delayed. He may even opt to go for the Baneling. Yeah, he just goes for both at the same time, and that's very understandable. You know, probably going to play the more defensive style here, simply because he's not going to have that speed out. So, Snute looking to at least possibly get aggressive, but no, he's just going to be droning, and now he's starting to make a few lings as, you know, you do want to be a little bit safe. Don't want to just go all into drones, and then all of a sudden there are lings inside of your base, and then you just die. So Liquid Snute looking like he wants to go take his third, and he did not take the lair just yet, so saving that gas in order to make a few banelings in case there is attack. I know he doesn't know that Yogo forgot his pool, so that's something that you gotta note too. But Snute taking the scenic route down the south side is going to be getting a few of these lings over to the third before Yogo's really ready for it. You know, doesn't have speed yet, so he has to be very careful with his own lings. But here come the lings onto the third base, and there are 2 banelings, and if Yogo loses his third, he is going to be in a world of hurt, as he did invest into it, almost like a counter to his own late pool, you know, like he decided to try to compensate there. But good baneling hits are coming out of Yogo here, and it is going to clean up all of the lings of Snute. I don't know what happened to the Banes of Snute. They didn't really do too much, it looked like. But Yogo going to be switching things up a bit, dropping down that Evo Chamber, while Snute is getting his own Evo Chamber, but he dropped down the Roachborn. So we'll see if Yogo decides to go into upgraded lings, or if he drops a Roachborn of his own. Now, on the other side of things here, Snute's trying to take his own third, and he actually doesn't have a lot of lings out just yet. And if he has to cancel that, then that's going to be a pretty big deal here, because the larva coming out is going to be substantial here. And yeah, Yogo is going to be able to take out the third. Despite going in with a later pool, he's actually the one that's going to be able to get some more aggressive damage done. 3 queens are getting surrounded by a lot of these lings, but with the transfuse, I don't think that any of them should go down. Actually, one is going to go down on the right side, but the other one does get transfused, and now the lings are on the run into the main base of Snute. Not only do they get in here to try to get some drones, but they are going to get some scouting here. Seeing the Lara timing, and Yogo can kind of rest easy as he has kind of survived, you know. There was a bit of a scary situation that he was in, but now he is going to be alright, as he is down in drones a bit. Didn't really get much drone damage done there, unfortunately for him, but you know, at least he canceled the third. That's something that he can kind of go home and brag about. But here comes Snute with a superior drone count, a later third, and I don't know if he has a. Oh, he actually has a lair while Yogo does not. So if you don't see a lair out of his Zerg, yeah, you're gonna see something like this. Carapace is going to be coming here for the Ling so that they can take those Baneling hits. Snute is going to have to prepare for a big all-in because Yogo doesn't look like he is planning to get into any kind of tech anytime soon. And here come the Lings into the main of Snute. We're into the natural here. The drones have been evacuated from the natural. And here come the Lings once again. Roaches are going to get surrounded. +1 Carapace not quite done yet, but the +1 attack here is done for the Roaches. Snute trying to get up to Hydra's and Lurkers perhaps a little bit too early, as he's not really able to defend against this as efficiently as he would like to, but he is still doing it. And he is equal, as there was a counterattack here from Snute. That did take out the third of Yogo, by the way. Sorry, I did miss that a bit, but 13 drones have gone down here for Snute. And he's down by 3, but he's going to say up a base, but he did lose that third base, unfortunately. So, a bit of some trading going on here, but Snute does have the tech advantage at the moment. And he has speed roaches, which do incredibly well against Lings that only have the +1 Carapace. So now Yogo does have to defend. He doesn't have a Spine Crawler at his natural, but he has the melee going down, and he's also trying to get his lair, hoping to do some game-ending damage. He's going to have to defend against a lot of these roaches here. Snute just going to push on in. There are a lot of queens, though, but only one of them have the transfuse. So he might just go ahead and take out that third base while taking a third of his own. And, yeah, with a lot of queens here, that's going to really help the Lings as they try to get a good surround on the roaches. Queens add a decent amount of DPS as well, but they're not going to get trapped. They're going to just back on up. Canceling the third seems to be enough for Snute, as he does kill a few of the Lings, and his third base is almost up as well. So good for him. You know, Yogo is actually going to try to go for Spire here, and with Snute securing his third base, I don't know if it's going to be the right choice. He does seem to kind of be limited on his options at this moment, though. I mean, if you think about it, if he were to go roaches here, Snute already has the +1 upgrade, but at least for Yogo, he does have the +1 Carapace, so he would be able to at least have one upgrade on his roaches, but he did invest in the melee, and Snute is already approaching that +2. So, some scouting here coming from Yogo. He notices that there was a Hydra den earlier, but it hasn't been turned into a Lurker den, so with limited gas, well, actually, Yogo's banking a lot of gas. He just has limited gas income because he doesn't have his third base, and he hasn't actually decided to take it again, so just going to play a bit more defensively. And with this amount of queens, it's usually something you would think maybe some roach play of your own with the Nidus or like quick Lurkers, really risky type of play. He's going to have to play a really risky style here because Snute is ahead in almost every aspect, and don't let the supplies fool you, though. It's mainly the workers in the third that I'm talking about. This big supply deficit is only because of the bank, and there you see it get depleted, and 16 Mutalisks are going to come out. Now, 16 Mutalisks, I mean, that's going to be okay here. I mean, it's not going to really be able... Actually, with the queens, he should be able to mount a decent defense here if Snute were to push out. So it's going to be up to the Hydralisk of Snute, and if they have +2, then, I mean, 16... I feel like Snute would only need to have a few fewer Hydras than those Mutas. But the thing is, Snute doesn't have to attack. He's kept Yogo off of a third base for so long, then he takes a third base of his own, and if he can get the scouting info on the Spire, then, you know, he can just drop down some Spore Crawlers everywhere, add a few Queens of his own, and then really start to put on the Hydras. With 3 Queens in production by Snute, I think he knows about the Mutas, as they have been flying across the map. And here they go into the main of Snute, where there is a Spore Crawler. Now remember, Legacy of the Void Spore Crawlers don't do as much damage as the Heart of the Swarm ones, but they still do a good amount here, as Yogo is just going to go full on into the main of Snute, who's trying desperately to get an Infestation Pit out, but instead of just trying to defend, he is going to use a few of his Hydras, but he's also going to mount a counterattack with some Roaches and some Ravagers. And 6 drones have already gone down here for Snute. Yogo doing some work with the Mutas, man. Getting +1 for them, sticking on that melee, looking like he's going to go into a more, you know, Ling Muta style. Not trying to transition into Roaches just yet, but the Roach Ravager force of Snute is going to be able to take down the Spine Crawlers here at the natural. And I worry here for Yogo if he doesn't get those Queens in position, and he does. He's going to get those Queens in position, and now Snute's going to lose all of his army here at the natural of Yogo. And whoa, 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 things have changed here as Yogo is able to secure. Well, I'm assuming he would be able to secure a third, but he hasn't decided to go for it yet. And this is Legacy 2, where the main is already starting to mine out. There is a gold base on the map, and if he's going to be going for that kind of Ling-heavy style, that wouldn't be the worst idea. So, he's only at 39 drones, but he does have that air control. Snute doesn't really have everything that he wants to defend against this. I mean, the muta count is starting to really get up there. Investors are going to be popping out. Snute needs to remember, though, that he could go up to Hive if he wanted to. Get those Vipers, do the blinding, not the blinding cloud, but the parasitic bomb. And that'll get rid of those mutas pretty quickly. So Snute trying to defend on two fronts as Yogo decided to try to go for a little bit of a Ling attack, but it's more so the mutas that are the threat here. And you know, the Infestors, if they can get some decent fungals, the Hydras can come and clean it up. But they're not going to get any, as there is some good splitting here from Yogo. And now it seems like we're in a situation where it looks like it's a bit more even than it should have been. But Yogo really bringing it back. He just really needs to get that third base. Because even if he's on a low drone count, remember, the drones inside of his main aren't really going to be mining at full saturation. Because a lot of those mineral patches are going to be mining out very soon. I mean, a few of them have already, but if he can secure a third and even maybe a fourth at some point, that drone count is not going to really matter. You know, the 39 to 59, Snute can't really utilize 59 drones right now. So it's you see a lot of oversaturation, so don't let that fool you either. He will still get, like, it's not like as soon as you go over 16 drones, you just don't get any income. It's just reduced income, but it's just not as substantial. So Yogo, he's bringing himself back into the game. He's already got that +2 on the way, and his ground upgrades are looking pretty good here for those Lings. You know, he's on +2, +1, while Snute is on +2, +1 for the range, though, starting to get his Carapace upgrade and remaking the Infestation Pit, which was taken out. Now, I mean, the resources lost here for Snute is ahead of those of Yogo, which means that he's lost more, obviously, but sometimes you read that and you're like, yeah, it's I'm ahead in that department, but you don't want to be ahead in that department for sure. Now, mutas are flying around trying to get a bit of more map control, killing any of the overlords that may have been left behind. And, hey, this is just one of those games where the impossible could happen. You know, if Yogo's not very careful, though, he could be losing all of his mutas to a bunch of Vipers that do come out as a result of the Hive completing. But once again, he's going into the main before the Spore Crawlers have finished, pulling back the weakened, oh no, it looks like a scouting muta to see where the Infestors are. But he's just going to fly on over. I don't know about this one, Yogo. You're going to lose all of your mutas if you're not careful. And here come the Fungals on a lot of those Mutalisks, and with the Hydras coming in, this just may not be the best position that he would want his mutas to be in. Now, with both of them going for the Lurkers, it is going to kind of transition into a ground war. And the mutas, you know, they kind of just didn't do much there. Tried to pick off a few Infestors, but a big counterattack coming out here from Snute. And without that big muta flock, they're actually going to be able to do a bit. But that's some good transfuses coming out of Yogo. He does have to manage the transfuses on two fronts, though. He's doing a pretty good job about it, but, you know, he's still continuing to make mutas, which is a little bit surprising to me. Maybe he really does value that air control, you know, get a few of those overseers of Snute so that when the Lurkers do come out, there won't be any kind of vision for the Lurkers. So that could be a good little strategy that we do see out of Yogo. Getting the mutas in the sky. You see it sometimes against Protoss in order to kill the Observer. But Snute already has his Lurkers out. And Yogo's in a bit of trouble here. I mean, there are some Spine Crawlers that the Lurkers are going to be doing massive amounts of damage here. And with the Infestors coming out, he's going to be able to not only detect the Lurkers that are underground, but he's also able to hold the mutas in place if he does get them. This is really great damage being done by Snute here. The Lurkers are just taking out this hatchery, and with some more fungal growth, he is going to be able to take out a lot of those mutas. The Queens are going to come over as well, but Snute needs detection. He does need it. Where is it? I don't even believe he has an Overseer on the map. Oh my god, he doesn't have an Overseer on the map, and I mean, it is only 2 Lurkers, but doesn't even matter, I guess. Yogo going to call it there, and Snute is going to take game number 1. The ASL Bacon Weekly number 5, as we do have 2 fantastic players. They are Zerg, but the first one, forgetting his pool last game, hoping not to do it this time, it is going to be Yogo. YogoMori. Yogoro. Yogoro. I don't know what the accents mean. So I'm trying to figure out just which one. But on the other side of things, a lot easier name to say. Representing Norway, it is Liquid Snute. Sounds like some anime character. Maybe it is, though. I don't know. If it is Yogo, the one that I'm thinking of, then he is a French caster representing Millennium. And I'm going to assume that it is because he has quite a lot of games on him. And I saw him actually playing a little bit earlier after his cast of the Leifang Cup, I think it was. So, yeah. Anyways, here we go, guys. We're going to see a 3 hatch out of Snute. But remember, he did go for the hatchery and then the pool and then another hatchery. Delaying the gas just a little bit. Get that larva out. And I don't know if Yogo knows about it. I mean, looking at the gas, he might see it and say, hey, that's a little bit later than usual. But, what do you say here? You could just say, like, you know, I'm a master of a Legacy of the Void, and this Heart of the Swarm nub just coming in trying to take all of our ladder points just because he was successful in the previous game. Could have thought that way, but I don't know. I mean, I feel like Yogo would know, at least, that something is up, and even though he forgot his pool last game, it doesn't necessarily mean that Snute doesn't really know his timings here. So we are going to see Yogo most likely use those lings to find out what is going on when they do pop out. And he might actually decide to just forego it. Yeah, he is not even going to do it at all. He's just going to drone super hard at the moment, getting that speed up. And he has the capabilities of going for an Evo or a Baneling Nest, but he goes for it now. So I was wondering if he was going to skip it and go for like a lair, but I mean, it's a little risky here to go for, or at least to skip the Baneling Nest here this early in the match. Don't really recommend it unless you feel like you can really just outclass your opponent without it. But Snute is already up on that hatchery, which means that increased larva production. And Yogo does realize it. He knows it with his Overlord. He sees it. And he's going to opt to go for a lot of lings here. But Snute, not going to be a dummy. He's going to continue to wall off here. And he also is making some lings of his own. And his speed is pretty much a ways away. But it will be there soon, about 20 seconds here. But the Baneling Nest does need to come out here because Yogo is on the run. His Baneling Nest is complete. He's going to go for a big attack and is just going to pretty much go for as much damage as he can get done. And with this wall off, he might just force Snute to get into an uncomfortable position and then go for that third base. Snute feeling a bit more comfortable now, but there are a lot more lings coming across the map. Snute going to fight here just to buy some time. With all of those lings coming out, I mean, there's some Banes to follow it up. And they're going to clog the way here. But the Banelings, oh no! They're gonna hit the Queens! And that is not a good way to use your Banelings here, as they just soak it up. You know, Queens shower in that, you know, they love it. But unfortunately for Yogo, he just doesn't get anything done there. I mean, there was some lings lost. He even lost more lings, by the way. 19 as opposed to the Snute's 11. And I just saw the ling count go down, or the ling lost count go up here for Snute. And I was wondering if he did a scout or if, I don't know how it died, but and it doesn't really matter. The ling will probably be forgotten. No one will remember it, as it didn't really accomplish too much in its life. But here comes Yogo with a little more aggression. And by a little, I mean just a little, because it's not a lot of lings here, and they might even get taken out by a Baneling. Snute may even preserve that Baneling, as he just needs the Queens to take it out. Now Yogo, he's going for a lair. And this time we see Snute not going for his lair. He's working on his economy. He has the third hatchery production. And Yogo did get his third hatchery up, but it was a lot later than that of Snute's. And Snute is looking like, I don't know what he wants to do here. I think he's just going to go for a big 3-base +1 ling attack. We saw this kind of out of Yogo last game, but it really wasn't as effective as it could have been. Okay, so he is going to go for the lair at least, but he is going for a gigantic attack. So these lings are not going to die to one Baneling, so it is going to be very up to Yogo in order to defend against it. Using his lings as more of a scout to see what is coming out of Snute. Because, I mean, his Overlords can't really be as effective because they keep getting pushed away by the Queens. Yogo knows what's up now, but he's actually droning. 6 drones on the way as he gets ready for maybe Muta play. Yeah, it looks like it is going to be Muta. Some good Baneling hits are going to come out of Yogo, though. And he is maybe regretting those drones right now. He's up to 58, and Snute is not letting up. Snute looking like he does not want to end the game just yet, but he is going for a lot of damage. Not really utilizing his +1 upgrade though. That's a bit of a shame, as he did go in a bit early. Oh my god, 15 Banelings in production. Yogo is trying to get up to Spire desperately, but he's gonna need to use that Lava in order to make a lot of Lings and Banes. And I mean, if he can get some good Baneling trades, then that's gonna be great for him. But here he goes. Uh-oh, a lot of drones in jeopardy right now, but no, good splits are gonna come out of Yogo and Snute. Not gonna get the damage that he does want, but he has to watch out for his third. Good Baneling hits on a lot of the drones that are at the third. And another 2 Banelings might be able to hit these ones, but that was actually a really smart Baneling morph, as it did just deter the Banelings for just a little bit of time, allowing, you know, a little bit more damage to be put onto them. And now he survives. He's down on a lot of supplies. Snute has gone up to 71 drones. And he hopefully should know that mutas are going to be on the way, as there were no roaches here to defend. But Yogo might even skip it now, as, I don't know. That's what he did last time, though. He actually did not skip the mutas. He was using the mutas for air control, and then just going into lurkers as a result of having that air control. We saw him snipe an Overseer earlier before, and we'll see if he does the same kind of tactic, because Snute does not have access to that Spire tech. But he has that +1 on his Lings, and you know, with a lot of the gas being used on those mutas, he's gonna have to really be careful here, as he does have a good amount of Banelings though, so you keep that in mind. If he's able to at least get some good hits and just not take a lot of damage here, he should be okay. But with muta, it can be really difficult to deal with a mass amount of Lings, especially when they have the +1/+1 upgrade, which is exactly what Snute is going for, or at least the +1 carapace. He's actually transitioning into roaches and infestors, and he knows about the mutas now. But these 2 Banes, oh my god, this mineral line, they've seen things, my friend, as they try to at least escape the wrath of that 1 Baneling. Snute can clean up a lot of drones here. 5, 6, look at that count going up and up. He has taken out so many of these drones, and you know what? We may not even see the roaches come into play. Oh, another Baneling hit, going down on a lot of those drones. The entire natural mineral line has just been eviscerated. And now Yogo, I mean, do those drones really want to mine from those minerals? I mean, they're like the haunted mineral patch. It's like, yo, man, you know, before you, there was a lot of explosions going down here. They don't really have good quality control, as exploding mineral patches are not something you want to be working around, as we do have a lot of the mutas trying to get something done. +1 not done just yet, and the queens are able to take them out, or at least force out the GG out of Yogo. Snute takes game number 2, securing his spot.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.